Hello, welcome back. This is our review of the textbook Construction Materials, Methods, and Techniques Building for a Sustainable Future. This video is about Chapter 7, Concrete. So let's see what we're going to learn here in this chapter. We will identify the various types of Portland cement and cite their purposes and uses. And then we'll take a look at the properties of Portland cement and their effect on concrete. Also, we'll discuss the role of water in concrete and its desired properties. Then we'll take a look at the aggregates and their desirable characteristics. Also, we'll take a look at a few concrete admixtures and their effect on concrete. And also, we will see how commonly used concrete tests are conducted and what they reveal about the mix. So, what you really need to build your knowledge on is chapter 10, chapter 12, and chapter 34. So we will continue reviewing the textbook. So please refer to those chapters if you would like to get more information on that. When we talk about the concrete, there is like a brief history here at the beginning of the chapter. We actually know that Romans used to use concrete, and then this knowledge has been forgotten. And for like 2 millennia, people were not using that, although Pantheon was built using concrete, unreinforced concrete. And then people got back to that knowledge and started to use it, and now it's a commonly used material. So we know that concrete is actually composed of a few different components, and we'll learn about all of them here. So the first one is Portland cement, and it's a fine material consisting of compounds of lime, iron, silica, and alumina. And the manufacture of Portland cement produces a combination of these elements in proper proportion under carefully controlled conditions. So there are a few types of Portland cement. So type 1 is the normal concrete, then type 2, moderate, type 3, high early strength, type 4, low heat of hydration, type 5, sulfate resisting, type, there's another type of white Portland cement, and also there are types 1A, 2A, 3A, and A stands for air entrained. And please review all these types, and please review what actually they're used for, because that is important to understand. Also, there are blended hydraulic cements, and that is capable of hardening underwater. So there are different types of cement. Also, we know that there is the masonry cement, waterproof Portland cement, plastic cements, then expansive cement, and regulated set cement. There are a few important properties of Portland cement, and those are soundness, fineness, consistency, setting time, full set, compressive strength, heat of hydration, specific gravity, and some other characteristics that are important, and that depends on the region and climate where this cement is going to be used. So please refer to the charts here in the textbook to identify which one is the right fit for your project. When you store Portland cement, you need to be very careful, and you need to remember that bags should not be exposed to the elements and so on. Let's talk about the next component in the concrete, and that is water. So we know that is one of the important components that actually either add to the workability of the concrete or to the strength. And the ratio actually is very delicate. And there are a few tips and tricks that construction workers with a lot of experience use to actually affect the concrete. Some people add Coca-Cola there. Some people add dishwashing liquid. Some people add some other things, just depending on the desired result. Let's talk about the aggregates, and that's the next component of concrete. And there are a few characteristics of the aggregates, such as resistant to abrasion and skidding, then resistance to freezing and thawing, compressive strength, shape and texture of particles, then specific gravity, absorption, and surface moisture. So those are like one of the main ones. And of course, there are other things that we need to consider. When we grade the aggregates, there are limits used to specify for the percentage of materials passing each sieve. So again, refer to the table here and you'll be able to see fine and coarse particles. When we talk about the structural lightweight aggregates, there are a few things that we need to remember, such as the increase of temperature and so on. So please always refer to all these beautiful charts here in the textbook, because just watching my videos is not enough to understand the chart and the table. So you really need to see that and you need to do the calculations. Also, there are a few other things that we can do with the aggregates, and we can insulate lightweight aggregates. There are also heavyweight aggregates that we need to know how to deal with. Then we need to test aggregates for impurities if if the process requires that, and we need to know how to handle and store aggregates. And there is some important information about that in this chapter. Also, let's talk about the admixtures, and those are the ingredients added to concrete other than Portland cement, aggregates, and water. So, and there are a few different possible solutions. So let's see. We have air entraining agents, we have retarders here, we have water reducers, we have accelerators, we have pozzolans, workability agents, we have super plasticizers, we have permeability reducing and dam proofing agents. And also, what else is reviewed here? We have bonding agents, we have coloring agents, we have hardeners, grouting agents, gas forming agents. So, and also there are other things, again, depending on the project. So basics of concrete, what we need to remember no matter which type of aggregates or admixtures we use. Water cement ratio. So if all conditions are held constant, the quality of the hardened concrete is determined by this ratio. And the water cement ratio is the ratio by weight between the water and cement used to make paste. Again, there are a few tips and tricks that professionals use, but you need to remember the basics that are described here. Also, minimum cement content. That is, again, another number that we need to remember. Then we also need to remember the size of the aggregates and other important characteristics. When we talk about the concrete design, there can be heavyweight structural concrete and lightweight structural concrete, as well as the normal weight concrete. And design actually dictates the needs. Actually, it's the other way around. So the needs dictate the design, and then the structural engineer chimes in and says, okay, so we can use this type of concrete here and that type of concrete there. So it's usually a collaboration between different disciplines. There are a few different tests that we can conduct, and most of them are done with the fresh concrete. So those tests are, for example, slump test. Please read about that. And actually, there are a lot of videos showing that, and that's quite interesting to see. That's really good for your career to understand how that is done and what you need to be on the lookout for. Then unit weight test, then air content test, cement content test, and also there are strength specimens, and let me see what else we can specify here. And also there are tests with the hardened concrete. That's another type of the test that we need to perform in order to make sure that everything is according to the construction documents in our design intent. Compressive strength test, that is important to perform. Then flexural strength test, abrasion test, those are the tests with the hardened concrete. Also freeze thaw test and accelerated curing test. Those are the tests with the hardened concrete. Non-destructive tests can also be performed, and those are rebound tests, penetration tests, pull-out tests, dynamic or vibration tests. So please make sure that you are familiar with all those techniques. And the final subchapter here is about the emergent trends in concrete. And the author talks about the rammed earth, that is the historic construction material that can be classified as a green building material, just because it utilizes locally available materials with little embodied energy, such as earth that is compacted. Also, there are different types, such as reactive powder concrete, self-consolidating concrete, smog-eating concrete, permeable concrete, then bio concrete, and some other types. So that was it for our chapter 7. Thank you so much for watching. I will see you in chapter 8, and we'll continue talking about concrete, and that'll be cast in place concrete. Thank you.